Welcome back. Today I've got something pretty disgraceful here. It's Garnet Genius, I believe it's called. It's conservative grilling a Trudeau Liberal who's in charge of procurement, and he's basically who's in charge of the ArriveCan app. The ArriveCan app, $54 million, thrown out the drain, didn't work. And $11 million of that was given to two dudes who run a company called GC Strategies. They did nothing, just subcontract another company to actually do all the work. So there's a whole bunch of our money just thrown down the drain. And basically, Garnet is grilling this Trudeau Liberal for who is responsible. And the guy refuses to answer. Check it out.
Mr. Duclos, after 8 years, one of the biggest problems we see with this NDP Liberal government is that while everything is broken, nobody ever takes responsibility. Now, you're the Minister of Public Services and Procurement of Canada. That means your responsibilities include procurement. So I want to ask you again, who is the person responsible for the decision to use GC Strategies and procure through them the ArriveCan app?
Well, I've tried to answer before, but I was cut off. So I'll turn to Deputy Minister Reza to provide the answer.
I want to hear from you, Minister. You're the Minister responsible. I'll give you the time. I want you to answer the question.
No, I'll invite Deputy Minister Reza because she might be more fortunate than I was earlier.
No, I would like to hear from the Minister who is supposed to be responsible for procurement.
So real quick here, he says, I'll let this other minister respond because he might be more fortunate to be able to answer the question. What an insulting, rude. This is how these people act in the House of Commons. What a loser, an absolute loser. This guy's getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars just to be a loser.
To tell us who is responsible for the decision to procure the ArriveCan app. I want to hear from the Minister.
Well, I can provide information on what ArriveCan did.
No, that's not what the question is, Minister. The question is who is responsible for the decision. Your title, if I understand it correctly, is Minister of Public Services and Procurement of Canada. This was a procurement of $54 million. It was procured through a two-person company that did no IT work and subcontracted the work. You're responsible, I think, to provide answers to this committee regarding procurement. So can you tell this committee who was responsible for the decision to procure through GC Strategies?
So what you just said is inaccurate because you've just said that $54 million was granted to a particular firm. ArriveCan...
Minister, I wasn't born yesterday. Who was responsible for the decision?
So let me continue. So
who is responsible for the decision,
is associated with 14 different outcomes, the first of which
Minister,
indeed cost $80,000.
Who was responsible for the decision?
Okay. Am I allowed to continue?
Chair, I'd actually ask you to bring the witness to order. Yeah, he has an obligation to answer a question just like any other citizen. This is an extremely important matter because we have senior public servants at CBSA accusing each other of lying about who is responsible. Cameron McDonald and Min Doan are both accusing each other of lying because nobody wants to take responsibility for the decision. It seems you don't want to take responsibility for this either. Could you, and we would love to hear at some point from the Minister of CBSA at the time, but could you tell us who are the individuals in their department and your department who made this decision?
The work of the members of this committee is very important. You're entitled to ask the right questions to the right people. I've already answered the question as to whether we selected GC Strategies. The answer is no. If you want to know more about the contractual relationships or the...
Minister, I'd like to know who made the decision. Have you asked who made the decision?
My Deputy Minister will be pleased to answer.
Minister, have you asked who made the decision?
As I said,
have you asked who made the decision?
Was selected by CBSA.
Have you asked the person who made the decision?
If you'd like to ask CBSA who exactly made those decisions within that department, it's a perfectly appropriate question. If you want to know the mechanics between PSPC and CBSA,
Minister, just to conclude,
we'll be very happy to answer.
I've asked you a pretty basic question about who the individuals responsible for the decision are. You haven't answered. You haven't answered about who's responsible or whether you've asked who's responsible. Your title is Minister of Public Services and Procurement, and you're telling us you're not responsible for procurement and you don't know who is. So I'm left wondering, what is it that you do as Minister of Procurement?
That is our time. Mr. Duclos, you're welcome to answer it, but we have on to Mr. Zouari, but
I think I've answered the question many times, and I'll be pleased to answer it again if it comes back later.
This is the most corrupt stuff ever. It's just unbelievable. That Jean-Yves, more worthless than a bag of rats. This guy's getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, doesn't even answer a question. He's just going to ride off into the sunset with his golden pension. This guy should be thrown in jail with his pension taken away. It's disgraceful. We need more checks and balances in Parliament where if people don't answer questions, they go to jail. They can get out of jail when they answer the question. If they lie, they go back to jail. Like, I don't understand why we have criminals running our country getting rich off us, and there's no repercussions. It just, what that sends a message to me and everyone else, we might as well all be criminals. If the people who are in charge of our country don't follow the law, why should we? We should all just start, doing whatever. Like I saw recently, someone was buying toonies from China for 5 cents each and then spending them. It's like, is this what Canadians should be doing? Let's just start doing criminal activity because our elected Parliament is doing that. This is disgraceful. Anyways, that's what I have for you today. Hopefully things get better. Stay warm, stay fed. I'll see you on the next one.